Hickok 45. Everybody's always got a new Glock Killer, right? About the last 30 years, I've been hearing about the Glock Killers. Well, are these the real Glock Killers? What do we have here? Oh, we have a Ruger. Let's shoot it. Whoa, that felt a little bit like a Glock 19. I wonder why. Yeah, because it's the same configuration pretty much. So, yeah, is there such thing as a Glock Killer? I think not really, but it occurred to me that possibly the real Glock Killer is not the latest SIG, the latest Ruger, the latest whatever firearm that comes out that people like a lot and does virtually everything a Glock does, but it's really maybe nothing like a Glock, but same configuration, is a great shooting gun, it's reliable. This has been going on for a long time. Always a new gun that's gonna kill the Glock, because they still have a big chunk of the market, but they had dominated the market, right, for decades, essentially. Well, one of the things that might be the Glock Killer are the Glock clones, you know? And that's occurred to me. This Ruger essentially is kind of a Glock clone. I got the PSA dagger here, Glock 19 clone, more or less. I've got the longer shadow system. This is the 920L, but you know, we've had the standard size models, and they have how many different models of that, and they're kind of Glock clones, right? Based on the Glock, and there's just some things about them that could help the situation in terms of killing off Glock, if that's what we want. And some of you do, right? You would love to see the Glock killed off. We'll talk a little bit more about it here, but I want to thank the people that help us. Davidson's Gallery of Guns, where you get a guaranteed lifetime replacement on your firearms purchases. Check them out. Great people there. Same with Silencer Central. Great outfit. They make that wonderful Banish suppressor. They do one thing, and they do it right. The Sonoran Desert Institute, SDI.edu. You can get distance education in gun technology, drone technology, gunsmithing, you name it. Okay? Don't forget that. I expect you to remember everything I say. So, what I want to do here, let's just do that again. Why don't we just shoot a couple of these? Let's pretend I don't really know what a Glock is. I just want to see if these things come close to a Glock for me. I may not empty the mags, but I just want to shoot each one of these a little bit and kind of think about living in a world where Glocks don't exist. How about that? Some of you would like that world, right? Yeah. Pretty nice feeling gun. How about this dagger? That was a Ruger. This is a dagger, yeah, from PSA. Let's see if it still shoots. Whee! Cowboy. He needed a bullet, didn't he? That one shoots pretty well, I'll have to say. What about this Shadow Systems 920? Yeah, not bad. Of course, it's a bigger gun, more like a Glock. So those are pretty nice Glock lookalikes. Let's see how this Glock lookalike is. Yeah, we'll get some ammo. All right, a lot of Glock clones on the table. What about this clone? Boy, I think that one was my favorite clone. Oh no, that's a Glock. That's a Glock 19 Gen 5. I knew that. Pretty funny, huh? So, got a 17 mag in it. So yeah, Glock 19 is the only real Glock I have out here. Gen 5, they're pretty nice firearms. They've gotten, they're not exorbitantly expensive, but a Glock now, what, runs 6, plus, figures. Well, not 6 figures, but you're going to run around 6 or more. And some of these others are priced significantly less than that. The Ruger is less. The Dagger is significantly less, from PSA. seems to shoot just as well. Now the shadow systems, this one is kind of more of a jazzed up model, you know, so they're a little different. They're not, I think throughout most of their line, they do a lot of things to them that actually increase in cost. So they're not necessarily trying to lowball Glock on the price. They're trying to make, I don't know, a more desirable firearm, I guess you'd say, in terms of just cool factor and all of that. Supposedly have better triggers, but that's not been my experience, I have to say. I've had 2 of them around here, and their triggers are actually more mushy, but that might just be the 2 I've had. But these other 2, less money and nice guns, and there's some other companies that are copying now that some of the patents have run out on Glock. And so, you know, it may get to the point where, and Glock has suffered in market share, obviously, in recent years. There's still probably about any pistol manufacturer would give their left arm to have the Glock market share, I guess, still. But it has dwindled, and I think killer is a little strong of a term to use. But in terms of reducing their market share, I would say this is what's going to do that more than anything, you know. Just the competition, the patents that have run out, and these other companies being able to compete really with similar or firearms that just aren't that much different, you know. This dagger might be one of the best examples, and I think there's some other, help me out here, on some of the other companies that make, we'll call them Glock clones, but they kind of are, that are really less expensive. And this thing, I haven't shot it for a while. I like that thing, flat trigger. It feels great. It actually feels better in the grip than the Glock 19, my beloved. Yeah, it feels pretty good too. But yeah, I think that's going to be, if there is going to be a Glock killer, it will probably be the Glock clones that come about, the copies of them, if nothing else. And I've got one more point I want to make, but I want to thank Alabama Holster for their support of the channel. And I happen to have one in my pocket. I'm just going to bring it out and show you. Yeah, how cool is that? An Alabama Holster. I just ripped my Band-Aid off. Yeah, they do a great job on pocket holsters, belt holsters, purse holsters, you name it. Anything you want in a holster. Kydex concealment holsters. Yeah, one point I was going to make, I had another brilliant point that came to mind just now. The Colt, I guess you could compare a little bit with the Colt 1911. For a long time, the Colt was the 1911, right? And then along came, who was first? I don't know, Springfield maybe, and then other manufacturers of the frames and parts and everything else. And now, well, as of what, 30, 40 years ago, you started having lots of companies building 1911s, you know. And if you go into a gun shop or a gun show, how many different brands of 1911s are there? So where does the Colt 1911, the government model, fit into that market? It's still there. People still buy them. A lot of people will always love the Colt name. I like it, and it will always do fine. But nobody goes into a gun shop thinking, okay, I'm going to get a 1911. Of course, it's got to be a Colt. I wouldn't want to compromise and get some other brand. Nah, not many people have that frame of mind, do they now, after all these years have passed? And that's maybe where we're moving with the Glock. Nothing like good old Glock 19, hard to beat. But if, there's 8 or 9 or 10 as time moves on, or 15 firearms that are essentially the same thing, get my gross Band-Aid off there, then the Glock will be that gun when you walk into a gun shop or a gun show. You say, maybe I get a Glock, but I've got a lot of other choices, and they're essentially the same firearm. Then that will really affect the market share on it. So I knew most of you were kind of worried about this, and I want to put this gun in my hand. Oh, there's a bullet in that thing. I've got to finish that off. Is that okay? Can I shoot 2 more times? This is the dagger. Let me empty that magazine. I don't want to leave with a loaded magazine, even if it's only a couple of rounds. Right, cowboy? Let's pop the cowboy. Yeah, lots of Glock copies and clones, and the ones I fired seem to work. They seem just as reliable. You may have a different experience. So share your experience and let us know. What are some other brands that I don't have out here today that I don't own? I own all these except for the Shadow Systems that's currently borrowed from a gallery of guns. But these other two are mine, this Ruger and this Dagger, and that Glock 19. But I think there are 2 or 3 others that are making these clones of the Glock. So let me know who else makes a great one. Let the viewers know, not just me, but people who like this format, enjoy Glock, but they're looking for a less expensive version of it, maybe, that still works and all that. So let us know. One thing that's cool about it, the coolest thing is all these Glock clones. Guess what kinds of magazines they take? Glock magazines. Yeah, they do. Anyway, I don't know if that was any help to you. Am I ever any help to you? Probably not. It's okay. I enjoy doing it. Life is good.
Oh yeah, that's better. This is a great gun for defense. Oh hey, didn't see you guys there. While I've got you here, I want to remind you of our friends over at Talon Grips and Ballistol. Talon Grips makes grips, can you believe it, for all different types of firearms. You can get rough texture or more of a rubberized texture. It just sticks right on there. Really affordable, really cool option to improve the grip for your handguns or rifles. So please check them out at talongungrips.com. You'll be glad you did. And also Ballistol. Dad has been using Ballistol for many years. It's a cleaner and a lubricant, and it's non-toxic. It works really great, and we're happy to have them on board since it's been a part of our shooting endeavor for a very long time. So go to ballistol.com, talongungrips.com. And also, while you're out there, I'm juggling all these things here. Also, while you're on the internet, please do check out our other social media like Hickok45 on Facebook. There's also Hickok45 on Twitter, The Real Hickok45 on Instagram. There's a John_Hickok45 on Instagram where I do some things. There's Hickok45.com. You can find us also on Gunstreamer. So check out all that stuff and then watch more videos.